Coming up on Mountain News this morning, how new tariffs from China are affecting the price of several items that you could buy every day. We have an update on former President Jimmy Carter, who recently had hip replacement surgery. And a string of thefts got bigger in one county this week. More on what police are doing to find the suspects.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is almost 6:32 on this Friday, May the 17th morning. Good morning. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning into Mountain News this morning. Yesterday was a pretty day. I think I got a little bit of tan standing out for that news conference in Floyd County, but it's only going to get warmer from here. If you don't like pollen, probably going to have to deal with that. But hey, it's going to be summer. This is what we expected. Many of you were probably the ones complaining about it being cold in the winter, so deal with it. Let's bring Brandon in this morning. Brandon, we all know I could use a round of snow, but it's not time for snow, it's time for summer.
Hey, there is some snow going on out to the west. I believe it was in Colorado or Washington State, somewhere out that way. But yeah, still snowing in May. Take a look at see what's going on here across the region this morning. We have precipitation, but it's not cold enough to be snow. Buffalo Mountain starting to clear out, it looks like, a little bit this morning. Lots of clouds still up that way, though. We've seen quite a bit of rain overnight there in parts of the area. So again, some wet roads and some fog possibility. Stonecrest Golf Course over in Floyd County. Again, also seeing some pretty cloudy skies. We're looking at visibility pretty rough in some areas this morning. We're going to continue to see that be a case for us. Temperatures in the 60s, 50s and 60s area wide, and much warmer than it was this time yesterday. I have the full forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, President Trump is hoping tensions with Iran subside. He told Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan the same thing. He does not want to go to war with Iran. However, the American military buildup in the Persian Gulf regions continues. U.S. intelligence officials claim they have evidence of credible threats, including satellite photos of ballistic missiles loaded on Iranian boats to possibly strike targets on land. On Thursday, the White House briefed a group of top congressional leaders on that intelligence, including House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff.
I would hate for this to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. These efforts to ratchet up pressure on Iran with no guide path to where this is supposed to lead us is leading us, in fact, to a very dangerous place.
Tensions with Iran have escalated over the past year since President Trump pulled the U.S. out of the Iran nuclear deal. A big announcement this morning from one of America's largest retailers. Walmart says it is caught in the middle of President Trump's trade war with China. On Thursday, Walmart said it will raise prices, but did not say on exactly what products. Executives blame the tariffs imposed by the president on Chinese goods. And as Miguel Marquez reports, we are hearing stories of suffering in middle America.
Maybe I could sell you a car.
Steve Gates sells cars. 9 dealerships, 3 states, nearly 700 employees. His family closing deals for 3 generations.
I would love to grow. I would love to add rooftops and people. I'm too scared right now.
Scared because the president's trade fight with China and the world taking a bite out of the automotive industry, slowing sales, crimping growth, creating uncertainty.
It just seems so unfair. I mean, I work so hard every day, and for politicians to dictate to me what my future is, it just seems wrong.
Nationwide, a firm that tracks job losses found that this year nearly 20,000 jobs in the automotive sector gone, with the threat of an additional 25% tariff on finished products hanging out there. Many more jobs on the line. The U.S. auto industry hit by tariffs and price increases for over a year now. First due to steel and aluminum tariffs in March 2018, then tariffs on Chinese-made car parts in July and again in September last year. Then last week, even higher tariffs imposed again on Chinese auto parts, among other materials. Here in Kentucky, it's not just car production and sales feeling the tariff pinch.
Nobody wins in a trade war. There's only consequences and casualties, and right now we're collateral damage.
Since 1999, Kentucky has seen exponential growth in global exports of its most famous beverage, bourbon. Not anymore. The EU and countries like China fighting back, aiming their own tariffs directly at the home state of Trump loyalist and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
I am not a fan of tariffs.
We just got numbers today for the first quarter of this year, and they're down 10% American whiskey and 20% to the EU just in the first quarter.
20%. That hurts.
That hurts.
Now, there's an escalating battle over abortion in states around the country. Anti-abortion lawmakers and activists pushing for the passing laws that limit abortion rights. The goal to get the issue to the Supreme Court and possibly overturn the landmark Roe versus Wade decision. The state-level fight over abortion saw major developments this week. Missouri Senate voted Thursday to ban abortion after 8 weeks of pregnancy, which is earlier than many women are even aware they're pregnant. The Missouri Senate vote came less than 24 hours after Alabama's governor signed what is considered the most restrictive abortion law in the country, paving the way for doctors who perform abortions to be sentenced to life in prison, and prompting a strong response from both sides of the aisle.
I defend my pro-life position for my whole political career. But in my whole political career, I also believed in rape, incest, or life of the mother. There was exception.
Alabama and Missouri join a growing list of states seeking to limit abortion rights, a battle in which both sides seem to agree on one thing. The goal is a Supreme Court showdown. Former President Jimmy Carter is out of the hospital after hip replacement surgery. The 94-year-old had the operation Monday. Earlier that same day, he fell at his home in Georgia on his way to go turkey hunting. Doctors said the surgery was a success and Carter will continue his recuperation at home with regular physical therapy sessions. Carter says he plans to teach Sunday school at his church this weekend. He is the oldest living former president. Burned and abandoned in parking lots. That is how Perry County deputies found 2 of 5 vehicles reported stolen in just the last few months. Car owners are warned, but Sheriff Joe Ingles says business owners better be on the lookout too. On Wednesday night, thousands of dollars worth of heavy machinery was stolen from Rental Pro. WIMT's Taylor Upchurch gives us a look at the surveillance video.
Imagine coming to work and finding a large fence like this one broken, lying on the ground, assuming possibly a customer backed up into it and didn't see it behind them. Then come to find out, $25,000 worth of your merchandise is stolen.
Police say the suspect or suspects in this white Toyota Tacoma are not professional criminals.
Lost the trailer.
The thief's amateur ability gives Sheriff Ingle a reason to suspect the trailer is stolen. But whoever it was had skills loading an excavator just like this one.
That is the bread and butter of our business right there. If they had to get something, that is the hardest hit they could have given us right there.
New machinery could potentially cost Rental Pro nearly $40,000 to replace. Doug Jones is sickened to see $200 a day, $800 a week slip through their fingers.
Well, it's not only my livelihood, it's the livelihood of our employees. You know, we've got 30-some people on payroll.
Sheriff Joe Ingles says he wouldn't be surprised if the reason behind the uptick in stolen cars and this piece of equipment coincides drug activity.
I keep thinking that maybe that's something to do with methamphetamines, because over the past 2 years we've seen methamphetamines enter this area, which has never been here before.
But for workers making an honest living, they're taking the biggest hit. In Perry County, Taylor Upchurch, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, if you recognize the truck in the video or have information regarding the missing John Deere excavator or this Jeep Cherokee, deputies ask that you call the Perry County Sheriff's Office at 606-439-4523. On a much lighter note this morning, if you head to a Central Kentucky high school graduation next week, you may think you're seeing double. It turns out Boyle County High School has 10 sets of twins graduating on the 25th of May. The class of 2019 will be remembered for many things, maybe academics or sports, but this class will seal its legacy with all the twins graduating. All have gone to school together since kindergarten.
Because we don't really think about it, but we've basically grown up with a friend right next to each other. And while we've had our fights, definitely, I think we're going to miss having somebody who's has a lot of the same interests right across from your door.
With just 219 graduates, these 20 kids make up 9% of the graduating class. That is not all. In the future, school officials say Boyle County will also have several triplets graduating together. When we heard that story, Phil Pendleton covered it yesterday. Multiple people, almost all at once, said there must be something in the water down there. Well, it's 6:41 now. Brandon was one of those people who said something, so let's send it on over to him. Brandon?
There's water falling from the sky this morning, so maybe there's something in that water, but you can see here, most of it is now off to our north and to our east. When we zoom in there, Charleston, Huntington, all getting slammed this morning. Ashland over toward Louisa, Wayne County down into Pike County, and Mingo and Logan counties, seeing some heavier bands of rain. We come back off to the west just a little bit. West Liberty getting a pretty good little shower right now, and down toward Wayland there in Floyd County. But most of this kind of starting to pull to the east and move out of our area, so that's some good news. Some wet roads and some fog from the overnight rains, so keep that in mind. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s this morning, and very mild. Prestonsburg and Pikeville 66 and 65 respectively. Your 12-hour planner, we are going to see those temperatures climb today as we get into the mid-80s later on. It's going to feel more like the upper 80s thanks to humidity. Sunshine will be out later once those clouds start to clear, once these showers pass. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you, and thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning. It is the end of an era for one Harlan County restaurant. We'll have the heartfelt goodbye from the owner.